Whoa, did that just happen at the ending of this episode? Okay, so Haya is meeting his father, Daigo, already on episode 11? Is this 11? 12? Whatever. Still, it's like halfway point of the show. And this is going to be a 24 episode show. That's pretty shocking, because I figured that the Daigo and Haya conflict, like finally getting to meet and confront this entire situation, would happen at the end of the show, or at least the final episodes of the show. But clearly, that is not the case. So my expectations on where the story is going to go just went completely out the window. I don't even know where the show is going to go now, because with Daigo confronting his son, what's going to happen? What decision is he really going to make? And so a lot of questions I have about this, because this is definitely just like a plot twist that I think many would not have expected. If you're an anime only, you definitely didn't expect the events of this episode. And if you're a manga reader, well, then obviously knew. But still, the point is, it's just like shocking to see how they actually got to meet. Now, I want to mention the fact that the statue cracking at the end is very ominous. And I highly doubt it's necessarily a good sign, because let's look at the facts here. Anytime we've seen a statue crack in this series, it definitely means something has died. Like, example, let's look at the demon statues in the hall or whatever, like the shrine. You have it to where every time Haya has taken one of those demons out, the statue just shatters in half completely, right down. It's like they got split. And it's because after they died, the statue broke. And we know that the statue, this like goddess or whatever, sacrificed itself for Haya to be able to live. For instance, the entire head of the statue got destroyed for Haya could be able to survive and be able to one day gain back what he lost from the demons. We know that. And so the statue sacrificed its own well-being, or the being, like the god or whatever, sacrificed its own being for the sake of someone that it cared about. While the demons, when they die, it's because they were finally killed, but they stole from Haya. And it's kind of like the exact opposite, yin and yang in a way. And seeing the statue crack at the end, there's a couple things. Number one, it does mean that the statue, the goddess/god or whatever, got wounded. And the question is how? How did the goddess/god get wounded? If I had to assume, if we're going back to the original instance when it got wounded, the statue at the very least is when it sacrificed its head to be able to save Haya. So I'm assuming the statue cracked because it is trying to protect Haya, or at the very least Haya's family. And so the statue had a quick little crack because it's trying to protect. It's trying to protect the family, trying to protect Haya from any danger, because things are getting really bad. Daigo has now confronted Haya, so the statue sacrificed a part of its life once again. And I feel like once that statue completely breaks, I feel like any protection and blessing from that god/goddess is completely gone. And then Haya and his family are on their own, and the demons most likely could do whatever they want. I have that kind of feeling, that sinking suspicion, because of the way the statues work in this series. But the point still stands is why did the statue break? Is it because it's protecting Haya in that moment because something bad's about to happen? Or did someone already get hurt and is trying to protect them before anything else is actually happening? That's the question I have. Now, speaking of Daigo and Haya finally meeting, the question I have is, will Daigo try to kill Haya? I'm going to assume yes. It's clear from his conversation with his wife and how they've sacrificed everything already just to be able to save the lands. I feel like Daigo's willing to finish the deed. But at the same time, for him to confront his son like that and get rid of the fox demon Chibi to get out of there like, he did, it definitely means that he's still contemplating. Like, he still is holding on to his humanity, and he hasn't completely given it up. He isn't a soulless husk. He isn't a being that lacks moral/humanity. He does care in some way, and I feel like that is one of the big things that's probably going to be a big part of the next episode, is that Daigo is going to be wrestling with his humanity. Does he want to sacrifice his son for the sake of everyone in the country, or does he want to sacrifice the country for his son? And that will be the big thing that shows what type of character he is. But it's not just that as well. We also got to look at that he attacked the Chibi, and that's a question I actually had to think about. I'm like, why would he do that? And a couple things popped in my mind. The reason why he attacked the Chibi like that, because, as we know, the demons/ghouls technically work under Daigo, or at the very least are giving Daigo and his land prosperity. And I feel like the reason why he struck at the Chibi like that and shot arrows was because he just wanted to scare it off. Like, hey, get out of here. Don't fight Haya. I don't want you risking your life. You need to heal up because you're still offering protection to this land. And so in that moment, he probably didn't really try to hurt the beast. He just wanted it to run away. And so that is why he did that, just to separate it, for you could have Haya and him alone to be able to handle this situation. I just get that impression. But anyways, here's another thing. Looking at the souls of Daigo and Haya, their souls are very similar. I don't know if anyone realized that, but when it came to the way their souls looked, in terms of the fogginess of the soul, to the, the red, like, aura coming out of it, we get to see, like, how they're very similar. And as we found out from the old man in this episode, Haya's soul, the reason why it looks a little bit cloudy and all that, is because he has actually killed people. And so we now know what that actually means, and so when we saw Daigo in this episode, we knew for a fact that he technically has killed just as much or even more than Haya. But it's not just there. The red aura effects, as we know, represent the demon influence. For instance, what the demons have done to Haya and Daigo. And the reason why Daigo has that is probably because of his contract with the demons, which makes you wonder, does that mean that he has supernatural strength? Has he been blessed more than we know? Like, is he just a regular old man? Or does he have strength that could be superhuman, very similar to Haya? Because for the demons to have some form of influence on his soul, it makes you wonder, what was he necessarily gifted? But it doesn't just stop there as well. When we look at Haya's brother is someone that has a very pure soul, which says a lot. And I feel like the way this series is trying to build itself up, there is death flags for a character. Like, there's definitely going to be death flags for either the brother or the mother. I definitely see something like that happening, because for us to see the soul of Haya's brother like that in this episode, I feel like it's going to become very dark and cloudy because of whatever is about to happen in the next episode. And here's my theories. My theory I have is that the brother, he's going to walk in and he's going to see, Daigo and Haya fighting, and he's going to see probably Haya kill his father. Maybe something like that might happen. And because of that, Haya's brother's going to be shocked because he doesn't really know the identity of Haya or the whole reason behind it, and he's just going to be angry, and he's going to go down a slippery slope, down a dark path, and become not really a good guy at all. Or the mother is going to die, and the brother is going to see this, and which in turn is going to set him over the edge, and he's going to become a bad guy. I just feel like the way this is being set up now, especially where Daigo confronting his son, it's setting up the brother to being either the main antagonist or someone that is going to have to pick up the mantle and try to correct the things that his father did wrong. It's going to be one or the other, and that's definitely what this episode is leading towards, because of just seeing the soul of the brother. Now, let's get into some other moments, like Dororo being the hype woman. I was going to say hype man, but hype woman for Haya, and trying to build up Haya. Like, hey, Haya is a really, really good fighter. He kills a lot of monsters and ghouls and all that. We get paid, like, cough up some money, pay up and all that. And I'm like, really, Dororo? Really? You really trying to get that dough and all that, trying to get that bread. And I'm just like, you know what? I respect it. You saved the people, and you do need to be honestly paid for the work you put in. But it's just hilarious seeing how close Haya was with his brother, and they had no idea whatsoever. And you have Dororo just confronting basically the son, the heir of the land. It's like, pay up and all that, pay up. Honestly, Haya's brother didn't really need to do that in the first place, but still did, because he's not necessarily a bad kid whatsoever. But that's pretty much about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this week's episode of Dororo. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Tell me your honest thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the plot twist? How do you feel about the events of this episode with Haya and how he confronts his father? Be honest in the comments below. And with that, I love you guys. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, because for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, You don't always get notified, so if you do want to get notified for whenever a video is uploaded, you gotta hit that bell icon. And this doesn't just go for me, this goes for all YouTubers on the platform. So even if you don't care about my content, you don't want to see it, at the very least hit it for YouTubers. You do care about the YouTubers that you want to watch because it helps us all out. And so with that, I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be healthy, stay safe. Chibi out.